Good morning, everybody. Welcome to episode 1 of the brand new Ironman. We are looking pretty juiced. 262 total level, 55 agility already with 152 marks of grace. I want to get graceful right off the bat. I think that's like the main goal I have just off the bat, just because honestly doing early questing, I've done a few quests already, 8 quests, but I feel like honestly, if you're gonna create a new account, it's cool. Okay, so obviously I'm going to talk about why I made this a new account in a little bit, but just the first thing is about this graceful thing is if I'm going to get graceful at some point, I may as well get it as early as possible and just enjoy it. Doing quests with graceful and high agility just makes it so much more pleasant. So, and we don't have all the run energy implementations yet. I don't know when that's coming exactly, but I was kind of going to hold off to make a new account until all like Varlamore Part 3 came out and the run energy changes. Actually, to be fair, Guardians of the Rift update did actually land already, so that's nice. But we're still missing a few things before it would have been optimal to like start a brand new account. But I did start a brand new normal Ironman, and I'm going to explain the reason why. So, as most of you know, I was playing a group hardcore, and that was with the big dogs. That was with Tasty Life, T Papa Slice, No Monkey, Jesse, and myself. And it was great fun. We lasted about 3 months until there was just a little bit of a falling out. I think like No Monkey quit, and then the team kind of decided to okay, so we have 2 lives left. I had lost 1, No Monkey had lost 2. And we were discussing, the last 4 of us in the team. No Monkey had quit, and so that was off the table of him coming back. And then we were like, what are we going to do? And the team basically finalized, like, let's just send the last 2 lives by doing dangerous group content. And I was really, really progressing my account on Big Bay. It had like 1930 total or something like that. Just got like the brand new maxed house, just got all of his new stuff. Spooned some synapses. I was just having a fucking blast with it. I had like almost like 13 or 14,000 giant seaweed in the bank. Plus already I had like 90 crafting. And I'm just like, I'm ready to get on this goddamn grind and keep going, just keep playing. And I was having such a blast. I genuinely did not understand how much fun I'd have on a brand new account. But playing on big dogs, I think part of it was like the group aspect. The group aspect was so refreshing. It was so fun. We didn't play as cohesively as most groups would play, but that was never our intention. The intention with the big dogs was simply to just fuck around. Like it was us 4. Prison Joe was going to be part of the original team instead of No Monkey, but Prison Joe decided he wasn't going to be able to commit to it. So No Monkey jumped on board, and from the get-go, it was like, we don't really know what we're doing. There really are no set goals. So let's just jump into this, see how fun it is, see what we make of it. And that was basically what we had not even decided on, but just like that's just how it was started. Like there was no immediate plans. I'm seeing the Rizzlers now. I'm watching the Rizzlers play. That's like Sick Nerd's team. They're so good. Like they're like coordinated with everything. They're always online all at the same time. They're in voice. They're having a great time. They're doing all the team content, and they're fucking like super productive and like on point with everything. Like it is crazy. Like the cohesiveness just blows the big dogs out of the water. Like we sucked as a team basically, but we all still had a lot of fun. Even No Monkey did admit that he did have a lot of fun. The main issues toward the end were just we really just had no real team cohesion, and it was just kind of a mess from the get-go. Tasty had like internet issues for the like 3 weeks leading up to the termination of the group, and like Jesse was going to like a wedding and a vacation like every other week, it seemed like. And it was kind of a mess. T Papa like did a subathon and then like stopped streaming and stopped gaming for like 3 weeks straight. It was kind of like all over the place, but I was very consistent and I was like very dedicated. And I think that's just because of my love for Ironman mode. I just get so fucking addicted, and I'm just got hooked, and the progress is addicting. The dopamine hits are just hitting just right. And yeah, so that kind of happened. But the key takeaway from that group was I love Ironman mode. I love the early game. I love that early progression. It's fun. It's a little bit fresh because of all the new updates. And going immediately back to Sebe, which is my normal iron, as probably vast majority of you know about. That is the account with like 1.7 bill XP, totally maxed. Had a Zuck helmet for a long time. I have to do like a Coliseum task and Huey task to get it back, but basically it's been at end game for years, and jumping back kind of abruptly, because it wasn't really like, okay, like I know when the big dogs are going to end and it's coming up soon. Like no, it was just like very abrupt, and I jumped back on Sebe and I realized my goals on Sebe are so much longer. Like the goals are crazy. Like immediately jumping back, like I have to get to a Raxor. Raxor is honestly pretty chill. I passed drop rate of the Araxite Fang, never got it, and I realized the next steps after that truly are get my Zuck helm back, go back to Baron or Duke finally and hunt the Baron pet, which I'm over 3x rate of, which has already taken me like 300 hours to get to that point with no progress made technically, because the only thing I'm there for is the pet. And then immediately after that, it's like I have a couple more grinds to do. The Coliseum grind to get like the little glaive. Maybe if I care about pets, go on some pet grinds. But the big key items that I was missing was like Eldritch Orb and the Elysian Spirit Shield, and like maybe a Sanguinesti and a Dragonfire Award. Just like some random items here and there. And very, very few left. But every single one of those grinds is just a big fat grind that honestly my headspace was not in. So when you are an endgame Ironman, it's so important to have that endgame mindset where you truly are just totally accepting of how long these beast grinds are going to take. You're passionate enough to understand like this is what you actually want to be playing. You want this endless progression. You want just this beast of a grind that's going to take maybe a year or something. And my mindset has just not been there. In fact, it slowly started to fade a couple years ago, actually. I think around the release of Toa, that's when I started to slow down on my Ironman. I started slowly recognizing just how long-term this Ironman can go. It's actually endless. Like I could just keep going. I could just clog until the end of eternity. And I stopped. I think part of it was also my rediscovery of just living a healthy life, which involved exercising and just keeping my body healthy and things like that. And so I recognized like, okay, maybe sitting at my PC for 14 fucking hours a day, endlessly grinding clue scrolls or whatever is not the most optimal use of my time. Even as a content creator, I could just, I don't need to be investing all this goddamn time into the game. And the other thing that I haven't mentioned yet is just the amount of pressure I had put on myself for years. This pressure and this like sense of expectation, like audience expectation of playing the game in a way. And this is like a slow drip. So I started content creation early 2019, and most streamers start off playing exactly how they have been playing. They want to just stream what they've been doing. But then what you start noticing over time is, oh, you did a raid or you did the Inferno or you did something a little bit more engagement, and guess what, your viewers pop up. So you got more viewers coming in. The stream feels a little bit more fun. It feels like there's more chat interaction. It's great. And then you start slowly sliding into this different play style that you never really intended on like playing in the first place. And it's just because kind of get that audience capture of like, okay, I want to get more viewers. I want to grow my stream. And how do I do that? I can't be doing the content that I would normally be doing. I got to do something that's more exciting. And for the most part, it's fine, especially when you're so chronically addicted to this game. It doesn't really matter. You're going to be addicted regardless of what you're doing. And that was the case for a few years. And then I started kind of burning out a little bit. And I didn't want to accept the burnout because I just was like, I'll be fine. Just give it a little bit of time. But it just like that burnout was always kind of just on the back burner. It was just like there. And it's because I truly wasn't playing the way I really wanted to play. And a lot of the way I want to play goes against what people think, like goes against how the generic person would perceive like playing an endgame account. Like endgame account is, why are you not clogging? Why are you doing something you've already completed? Why are you skilling post 99? Why are you doing these things? Like the typical like talking points that are brought up if you're doing something that the audience doesn't want you to be doing, or questioning your every move in the game because there's like an efficient route. And genuinely, there were times where I wanted to log in and do fucking Blast Furnace. I swear to God, you guys might think I'm just something clinically wrong with me. the fact that I would want to do that. And I do, but I understood that if I go live with Blast Furnace, the entire chat, not the entire chat, but a lot of them would be like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, why are you doing this? Like, why aren't you going on your pet hunt thing that I would want you to do? And why are you even doing this? You're already post 99. What, are you going for 200 mil? Like, what are you doing? Are you going for 200 mil? It's like, no, it's just, I just want to play the game. Like, this sounds fun to me. This seems like, I've always liked Blast Furnace. I mean, this video is not about me liking Blast Furnace, but like, I do like that flow state you can get into, especially post 99 when you get all the perks. Everything's just really chill, and you just feel this sense of progression of like clearing out all your ores, which I find like soothing. You know, it's just nice having all these ores you banked up from all the PVM, and you're finally cleaning it out, and that feels good. It feels like, it's almost like that sensation of cleaning in real life. It's like, I'm finally cleaning up the bank. I like this, but guess what? I have to answer a million questions like, why am I doing this? And eventually I just get to the point where I'm like, I'm just not even going to stream today. It's just like not worth it. It's just like too exhausting to even just think of the stream and the amount of times I'm going to have to answer a certain question or something. And then it's like, well, I still would need to stream because it's kind of my livelihood at this point. So I'll just stream something that I don't really want to do. Let's just fucking go, I don't know, kill some Zora or go on some pet hunt that I don't really want to be doing right now, but I'll do it because it's going to pull more viewers or something. Anyway, I'm rambling on at this point, as most of you guys have already gotten used to me rambling. By the way, this whole series is going to be kind of more ramble based, simply because I'm going to actually be streaming this account a lot. So anyway, expect that. This is not going to be like some settled stuff, but I know most of you that are subscribed understand that you subscribe to my channel because you just like the random posts of me rambling about stuff. So I'm not too worried about it. Also, I have decided to slowly but surely reframe how I pursue content creation, which is kind of the reason I made this account. This account it was not just spur of the moment. It took me a couple weeks, 2.5-ish weeks to really land on what I wanted to do, because Sebe was not hitting quite right. I just wasn't enjoying it. I understood that my long-term goals, there was a few things I would like to do, finish a rack or that'd be cool and all, that's short enough. But beyond that, it just gets really daunting and it just wasn't there. So I was thinking, okay, maybe I could just do another group Ironman. What about that? And I didn't really want to just immediately jump into another group because it would look weird, especially because the big dogs technically aren't even finished. We still have one life left, but none of us have any membership on our accounts, and just kind of like, it's just kind of over at this point. So I don't know what we're going to do with that account. I think that all those synapses, is like, I think my bank's like 300-400 mil. So if the team and I want to like split it up and stuff, I'm good. I mean, I don't even play main account. So honestly, like, maybe we could do a drop party with all the money, just drop over everything and go to Fally. Drop it all over. But anyway, so I didn't want to do I didn't want to do a group Ironman just right off the bat. I am totally willing to do a group in the future though, hardcore or not. And then, a lot of people are like, dude, make a UIM. UIM is something I'm going to keep in my back pocket until the end of time, pretty much. It's like basically the last card of Exodia, you need. It's just like, as a streamer, you should really hold that UIM card and just like have it out of sight so nobody really like suspects you to do it, but then you could just pull it out when you're like burnt of everything, pull the UIM card and become a UIM streamer until the end of time. It's actually surprising how many creators that start a UIM end up actually just being so addicted to it. I was just talking on the Boon Bape podcast. I just had Boon Bape on, Rob and Michelle. We're actually talking about that, like just it's probably survivor bias where it's like you're only seeing the people that actually start loving UIM. And so it seems like every single streamer and every single player that starts UIM ends up loving it and gets hooked on it. Who knows? But that, like, who knows? Maybe at some point I would, but now was not the right time. UIM seems way too tedious and obnoxious for me at this moment. And then it came down to, do I do a hardcore, a main account? Well, main account was pretty much off the table immediately. I thought of making a main account, and the main account could just be Big Bay. It could be a D-ironed Big Bay, and I'm not motivated to play a main account. It's not my thing. Who knows? I could probably enjoy it a little bit, but I think like the endless kind of progression on it wouldn't hit quite as hard as an Ironman, either hardcore or normal. So then it came down to, was I going to make a hardcore or a normal Ironman? And I chose Ironman, and I have held that this view of thinking hardcore is kind of stupid in a way. I understand why people do it. It's exciting. Audience gets a little bit more hooked on the content because it could end at any moment. So that kind of keeps things exciting. But I have always said how obnoxious it is to play a hardcore. And the reasons are, one, nowadays you are obligated to use an escape crystal everywhere you go, just in case there's a lag spike, just in case shit hits the fan. You need an escape crystal. And if you haven't ever played a hardcore, the escape crystal can now be equipped on your ring slot. So most of the time, you can't even enjoy the perks of a B ring or some other ring that you just obtained, or a ring of wealth even. No, you got to use this fucking escape crystal. And you can actually set it so it has an automatic telly if you haven't interacted with your client. And you could set it to as low as 2 seconds. So if your mouse stays still for 2 seconds and there's like no engagement on your screen and you're under combat, you'll just get instantly teleported. And those escape crystals cost $75K. And that's obnoxious. You know, I genuinely think that escape crystals should be completely free for hardcores. I think that would actually be a better update. Like, it would just be better like across the board. I think it's really silly that you even have to fucking pay for this thing. Anyway, so it's really obnoxious because you have to have it on permanently just in case you DC and you're under combat. I hate that. That's just like the biggest reason why I hate hardcores, because of that. Second reason is you play safe. The playing safe is so boring. Now, I know you don't have to play safe, but oftentimes you're just seen as reckless if you're doing things not in order, or you're doing something where you'd be better off, you'd be safer using something else. And you end up just like not doing the content you'd actually want to do because you figure, oh, you may as well wait because it's safer doing that. And the other thing is actually engaging in content, you play safer and it makes it more boring. I'm going to bring up a very like stark example. It's obviously not everybody kills bandos this way, but if you think of playing a hardcore and you're killing bandos, most people that aren't Lake will go into bandos with their full Barrows gear and pray melee and do the Mr. Mammal method of, you know, attack twice, step under, attack twice, step under. And guess what? The whole method is you making sure you don't drop below 90 HP, basically. So just keep anglering up whenever you get hit. Angler up. And guess what? This is the safest way. And so, and the philosophy of hardcores is, hey, it doesn't matter, you know, how good you are. It matters about how well you're going to, like, if you want to be a good hardcore, this is what I'm trying to say. If you want to be a good hardcore, you got to play like a hardcore, which means being a pussy everywhere, basically. Because that's honestly what's going to lead you to the most success in a hardcore, which is just survive as long as possible, get as much gear as you can, which requires you to do bullshit like tier 3 prepping at CG. If you don't tier 3 prep on CG, you're just seen as reckless. It's just embarrassing. Like, what are you doing, dude? You got to do this, or else you could maybe chance yourself to the tornadoes. That is such an awful way to play, to have to tier 3 all your CG if you're going to do CG, or to angler up every single time you're about. It's just boring. It just makes everything boring, and having to telly out if things get a little risky is boring. It's so much more fun to be low HP, have one prayer point left, and realize, hey, I can fucking do this if I just focus up right now. Let's do this. Instead of that fear of, no, just telly, it's worth it. Yeah, good telly. You know, your whole chat's just like, good telly. Yeah, good. You didn't risk anything. It's just so brave of you to just telly out. It's so boring. It makes everything boring. I know I'm being like way more like dramatic on this point than I probably need to be, but I need to just make it very clear. This is why I didn't want to make a hardcore. There are some elements that are kind of cool to it, but as soon as I recognize how I actually want to play, which is this endless progression with an Ironman account. I love the classic Ironman experience. I think it's just wonderful. It's just so fucking fun. And then having this constant stressor that can be out of your control entirely to just die is not fun in my books. It's just not. And as I was saying a little bit earlier, that audience capture that I had been kind of like lured into since streaming, I want to stray away from. I want to play RuneScape the way I want to play it. And that takes conscious effort at this point to really recognize, to think deeply about how do I actually want to play? Like, what do I actually want to do on this account? Because that's honestly going to be the best content. The content that I am truly the most passionate about, that I wake up every morning and I'm like, I'm fucking excited to play. Like, I want to play because I want to do what I want to do. And that is why I made this Ironman. And Yeah. So again, going on those points I was just talking about, this account has no real goals on it. It has no real long-term goal that I'm going to write out and just carve out in stone. And so everyone has these expectations of me. No, no, no. I'm not adding any expectations to this account. I'm not adding any unnecessary pressure or objectives that need to be accomplished, or else my chat's gonna be like, what are you doing? Aren't you supposed to be doing this? Didn't you say you were gonna do this, man? Like, what about this? Nope, not this time. Also, I gotta just give a shout out to YouTube. You guys actually don't really judge me that much, to be honest, so I appreciate you. Like, some of you are really critical on some of my videos I upload, but I'm more talking about like the live stream aspect. The live stream aspect, most of my viewers are wonderful legends. They're actually just like the most supportive and just beautiful individuals ever. But I do get the occasional, and it's not even really like on purpose, I doubt, but it's just like that low key backseating that I honestly don't mind that much, but it actually does affect me. Like, hearing people be like, why are you not doing this? And then it adds to the pressure of like, oh, maybe he's right. Maybe I shouldn't play the way I actually want to play. Maybe I should do this because, people would like to see me do this. No, not this time. Not this time around, boys. This account is free flowing. I'm going to do it exactly what I fucking want to do, which right now is run Canifus and get a graceful set, get the Varlamorian graceful flare, and just look like a Giga Chad because that graceful looks clean as hell. I will say, this is all loose. This is because I want to share it. It's not because I feel pressure to. I do want to get an early Infernal Cape on this account. And I do want to get early Bandos. I think that'd be fucking awesome. I think it'd be so cool to rock around with an Infernal Cape at an earlier level and a Quiver even. Getting a Quiver early at like maybe after Dragon Slayer 2, shortly after, something like that. Again, I'm not setting that expectation. I'm trying not to set that expectation for you, but those are some of the things I'm thinking. The other thing I want to do is max. Maxing is a great grind. I think it's one of the most like actually satisfying grinds on RuneScape, which is another reason why I wanted to make a fresh new account, is to just max. And I want to max in the way I want to max. Another one of those kind of goals. Again, I said I wouldn't do this, but I want to give you guys at least kind of an outline of what I'm thinking. And this is just my own desires. These are the things that I've thought about. I would love to get like 99 construction early on. Something like that where I can really get so much value out of a skill cape. The construction skill cape is so goddamn busted. It's so good. And I want it. I also want to get a crafting cape like pretty quick as well. I think the crafting and the con cape in conjunction is just so OP when you don't have a max cape. It's so good. And I actually like training crafting. Construction's all right. It's just very expensive. And I would probably just do mahogany homes with mahogany logs the whole time. Just chop them manually and just do miscellanea. The other thing I really want to do is I want to jump on Trouble Brewing as quick as possible as well. That's something I want to say as well, and this may have already come across, but like I'm not rushing anything. So when I say the word rush, it doesn't mean like just ignore everything and this is the one thing I'm thinking of. It's really just I want to get this done quicker rather than later, or sooner rather than later. And so I don't want to rush really anything. I want to enjoy thoroughly this account. I don't want to feel this pressure of not being efficient. I don't want to. I will still be efficient in some ways, but I'm not going to be Alfie mode. I'm not going to go full Alfie. And this guy has a squirrel. What level is that person? 50. Oh my God, I'm 56. They're 55. And they have a squirrel already. That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, so this account is truly the way I want to play, and I want to make progress videos. This is obviously episode 1. The progress videos are going to be ramble based. I want to talk about all my goals and my dreams for this account and the way this account is shaping. And just so you guys can get like just actually see how I play Ironman. This is the first time I'm making a normal solo Ironman since 2017, early 2017. So it's actually been 7.5 years since I've made a brand new solo account. Obviously, the group hardcore got me primed up for this, like that little primer I needed just to make sure I was really about this, and I am. I fucking love early game. It's so good. It's so good. I didn't know, guys, but I do know now. It's really addicting and it's great. And this is going to be the account I play on now. Now, some of you may ask, "Oh, are you going to AFK anything on Sebe? Are you going to AFK anything on any account?" No, I am a solo account player. I have felt that way for the longest time. With an activity like this, if I didn't stream and if I wasn't making any content, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to log into another account and have two accounts going simultaneously. But I do stream and I do make content. And the last thing I want is like an additional distraction that not only is it a distraction, but it genuinely like makes me not enjoy the game as much on either account. It makes both of the experiences worse. And that is just this is the way I look at it. It's the way I see it. I know a lot of people are the complete antithesis of that. They're like, no, I need to have multiple accounts going. It makes me feel better. That's awesome. I actually wish I was like a player like that. But as soon as I log into another account, within 20 to 30 minutes, I'm like, I hate this. Like, this just sounds like a job. It feels like a job now. This is horrible. So I will not be playing any other account. This is my dedicated account. And the other thing I was kind of thinking is, because I'm not trying to be super efficient and I'm not trying to just get ahead as quick as possible, get to the destination as soon as I can. No, that's not about it. That's not the drive. The drive is to enjoy the journey all the way through, every little bit of it, even jumping these little roofs right here. This is enjoyable to me. But there is no rush, and that means I probably won't be doing much like remote desktop. I do like the mobile update they've added, so playing on mobile actually is kind of nice now. It's kind of fun. But like playing on Chrome remote and doing as much ammonite crabs as I humanly can, which I did on Big Bay for like the first month, it was just like, soon as I was done streaming for 14 hours, just immediately onto Chrome remote and start stabbing some ammonite crabs for the next like 2 hours until I sleep. Like literally, I would be almost asleep, and then I'd be like, oh fuck, like it's probably been about 10 minutes. Let me just go like log into Chrome remote desktop really quick on my phone and just make sure I just leave the boundary really quick and re-aggro these ammonite crabs. I'd actually do that. I'd be right about to fall asleep and I'd do that to myself. It's fucked up. So I'm not going to do that probably on this account. In fact, let me know what you guys think. I have always had a fondness for accounts that actually have higher skill levels than they do combat. So for example, and especially when it comes to like the balance of your Slayer level compared to like HP, for example. So if you have a higher Slayer level than you do HP, I respect you. I just instantly, I don't know where that respect came from, but it's some weird nostalgia that I've just fixated on for so long. But I have always found accounts with high skill totals and lower relative combat levels, as in like your melees and your range and everything. Those accounts always seem more like built to me, like more, they have like a really strong foundation. When you're too like combat focused and your Slayer level's like 70 and you're already 98 HP and you've just done a bunch of random bossing and shit and your skill total is like 1500, it just doesn't look that good. I don't know. And again, that's me just being a judgmental prick. It's not like anybody actually cares, but there's a part of me that on this account wants to have that nice solid foundation. So I think avoiding ammonite crabs is actually the best play for both worlds, of like me not ruining my quality of life and also having an account that looks more respectable in my eyes. So again, no pressure, no real expectations. I don't want to set any expectations, but that is kind of the way I'm seeing this account. So everything is unlocked. There are no restrictions to this account. I was considering maybe, and I even was confronting ChatGPT about it. I was like, hey, is there any snowflake ideas for Ironman mode in old school RuneScape that you would, any brainstorm, any ideas that you think would be good? So I had ChatGPT brainstorm with me for a little bit, and it came across as like some kind of cool ideas, but ultimately those ideas are only fun for like the first few days of streaming, and it really, the ideas were so quirky that like it would be fun as a live stream event sort of thing. Like, oh my God, like I was thinking of making like a vegan, like fucking ethical Ironman. That was actually a suggestion from ChatGPT. Was like, play an Ironman account that cannot eat meat and cannot kill innocent animals. And it also has that extra element of like the ethics. So it's like you got to be a really ethical Ironman. So are you going to steal from men and women in Lumbridge to level up your thieving? Can you even train thieving? Is that ethical to train thieving? So that would be something I'd communicate with my audience. I'd be like, hey, what do you guys think? Can I do this quest where I have to murder an innocent person? Is that ethically wise to do that? And then I'd also have like those long-term implications, what I'd have to like discuss with my chat. Like, okay, can we do druidic ritual? We have to kill some innocent animals, but will the means justify the ends and make it so now I can make healing balms, with herb lore that'll definitely outweigh those innocent animal lives, that I have to kill to make the potion. Anyway, that was fun and all, like thinking about theorizing, but then I just actually thought about implementing that, and it was like way too much. So, and I even thought of making a 1 magic pure. Can you imagine how masochistic that would be? Genuinely, like an Iron Man with 1 magic and everything else. Imagine maxing an account with just 1 magic. So you just never teleported. There are some teleport items that you could get, but very few, especially when you're a restricted account. So like there's a lot of things that actually do require high magic. And that would just be awful. Like not being able to teleport would be crazy. But that was one of the like restrictions I was kind of thinking to make the journey a little bit more interesting. But I decided on absolutely no restrictions. It's not a snowflake account. It's a pure Iron Man. I'm not going to follow the footsteps of Sebe. I'm going to just do exactly what I want to do on this account. There's a lot of things I'd like to do. Even some random long grinds right off the get-go. Another one, I'll try to keep this video. Oh, wait, no, never mind. The video's not going to be kept short. We've already been talking for over half an hour. But I'll try to wrap things up. But basically, there are some other grinds I'd like to do, which is like barbarian fishing grind. I loved that. I think it's cool playing a solo account again. There are some perks to it. The fun of a group is definitely there. And obviously the pros are pretty, it's clear to see what the pros are of playing on a group. It's just fun. You got that teamwork going. It's just more engaging. But the solo experience, I don't have to worry about anybody. I don't have to worry about doing a certain grind. Like, oh, is it going to affect this person negatively if I spend too many hours doing this on a group, for example? So this account, it's truly me doing exactly what I want, and I'm fucking looking forward to it. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited about the new series? We're going to see how far it goes. It's just going to be a very basic series, episode 1, episode 2, and so forth. And we're going to just see how this account goes. I'm really, really excited about it. Just started it yesterday morning. So we are 15 hours in right now. That is not good. That's so unhealthy. But, it won't be that crazy. We did like a 12-hour stream yesterday. So anyway, so I will be streaming on YouTube and on Twitch. So if you guys want to support me there and just tune in and see the live progress, I'll be making updates whenever I can. So hopefully, I don't want to set any expectations as of right now, but for sure, at least once a week, updates on the account, maybe even more often. So let me know if you guys like this. Should I do some elements of editing? The problem with asking this is I'm so bad at editing, and I understand how in a perfect world editing would make this series just much better. But the problem is I'm going to be streaming most of this content, which means pulling clips from a live stream it just doesn't hit as well. If I was a dedicated YouTuber, I could really pimp out this series, and then I'd almost have that expectation to do some good edits on this account and really showcase everything I'm doing on this. But because I'm going to be live streaming it and on YouTube and on Twitch, I'm just going to keep this series a lot more ramble based, which I honestly don't think many of you guys would mind. So anyway, I am losing my voice because I just had a 3.5-hour podcast with Boon Babe, which will be up most likely tomorrow. Check that out if you guys want. And thank you guys for listening. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and I will catch you guys in episode 2. Peace out, guys.